Hi, I'm Chris, and today we're going to be putting together the Dynacraft My Little Pony 4x4. After about 40 minutes of assembly and a full charge, you'll be ready to go. Assembly of the My Little Pony 4x4 should only be done by an adult, and children should not be allowed to handle small parts of the unassembled ride-on. Before we begin, you'll need a Phillips head screwdriver and a pair of pliers from your tool chest. Two 17mm socket wrenches are included with the vehicle. Scissors or a box cutter are useful for cutting packaging. You will also need 2 AA batteries for the steering wheel and 3 AA batteries for the LED light-up case. Open the box and check that all parts are present. You can check against the list in the assembly manual. If any parts are missing or damaged, or if you have any trouble with the assembly, don't return to the store. Call Dynacraft at 1-800-288-1560. We strongly recommend reading the manual or watching this video all the way through before you begin the assembly. And you should read the entire owner's manual supplied with the 4x4 before letting anyone ride it. This video is not a substitute for the manual, which contains very important information for the safe use of the My Little Pony 4x4. Okay, let's get to work. First, we're going to focus on the front wheel assembly. Begin by turning the vehicle body upside down. For each side, you'll need 2 number 12 washers, a bushing, an M10 lock nut, an axle cap, and the wheel, of course. This hardware may already be installed on the axle. Take the front axle assembly and fit it into place like this, making sure this part of the steering linkage faces the front of the vehicle. Secure each side with 4 4x12 round head screws. Now that the assembly is in place, we can install the wheels. Remove any hardware that is already installed on the axle. Now, slide 1 number 12 washer onto the axle, followed by a bushing. The tabs on the bushing should be facing the washer we just installed. Next, place the wheel on the axle, matching the inside to the bushing you just installed. Slide the second washer onto the axle, and then add the lock nut. Tighten the nut with your fingers, and finish tightening with the included socket wrench. Be careful not to over-tighten the nut. Stop when the thread starts to show on the outside of the nut. Spin the wheel. If it doesn't spin freely, loosen the nut a quarter turn and test it again. Now, repeat these steps for the other side. Next, we're going to install the rear axle and wheels. For the right side drive wheel, you'll need the gearbox, 1 number 12 washer, an M10 lock nut, an axle cap, and the wheel. The hardware may already be installed on the axle. Remove all hardware from the axle. Notice that one side is longer than the other. Remember, we are installing the right side wheel, but we'll start by sliding the longer side of the axle through the left side of the car. Slide the washer onto the long side of the axle before installing it. After putting it in place, move to the right rear wheel. Slide the gearbox through the axle into the body. As it moves into place, be sure the motor and power wire are inserted into the hole in the car's body. Next, install the driving wheel, matching it up with the gearbox. Install the washer, followed by the lock nut. You may need to hold the axle with a pair of pliers to prevent it from turning. Tighten the lock nut until the threads begin to show on the outside of the nut. You're done here. The left side rear wheel isn't powered, so installing it is the same as the front wheels, although you will need to use both included socket wrenches to tighten it. After you've tightened the left wheel, remember to check to make sure that it spins freely. If it doesn't, just loosen the nut a quarter turn at a time until it does. Now that we've installed all 4 wheels, we need to check to make sure they have the correct gap. If there is a large gap between the outside of the wheel and the screw thread, pull the wheel off and add 1 number 12 washer to the inside of the wheel. Reinstall and retighten the wheel. Again, be careful not to over-tighten the lock nut. Give a little spin to make sure the wheel moves smoothly and without wobbling. Repeat this check for all 4. After that, install the axle caps on all 4 wheels, making sure to line up the 3 tabs on the cap with the inside of the wheel before clicking them into place. Now we're going to install the steering column. We need 2 number 10 washers, a split pin, and the column. Find the correct hole underneath the front. Place a washer over the straight end of the steering column. Then, slide the column through the hole until it sticks out of the top. Next, insert the bent end into the correct hole on the front axle, here. Place a washer over it and insert the split pin to hold the axle in place. Use your pliers to open the pin ends. Let's move on to the steering wheel. Turn the vehicle back upright. There is already a machine screw and nut installed on the steering wheel. Remove them and set them aside. Slide the steering wheel over the steering column, making sure you line up the two holes. Now, slide the screw back through the hole, then reinstall the nut, tightening with your screwdriver. Use a screwdriver to open the battery compartment and insert two AA's. We're going to attach the windows. Start by identifying which window goes on which side. Open the door by sliding the inside lock. Place the window into the door, then secure it with 5 4x12 screws. To install the windshield, fit the tabs into the slots and give a firm, steady push with both hands until it's in place. Next, insert two number 12 screws and tighten them with your screwdriver. The side mirrors are simple. Identify which one goes on the right and which goes on the left, then just click them into place. It's time to connect the battery. It's already installed, but the power connections are not hooked up. Simply plug the two white connectors together. Do the same for the red connectors. This piece is called a motor hood. Use 4 4x12 flathead screws to install it here below the seating area. Make sure the wires come out of these slots. To attach the seat, start by moving the seat belts out of the way. Insert the tabs at the back of the seat into the matching slots on the vehicle body. Fasten the bottom of the seat into place with two M5x12 machine screws. It certainly won't be a true 4x4 without the rear rack, so let's get that installed. We need to attach the middle of the rack to the two side supports. Slide the center of the rack into one of the side supports and secure it with two 4x12 round head screws. Repeat this for the other side. Line the rack up with the slots in the vehicle body, then apply steady pressure onto the whole rack until it clicks into place. Of course, your gal needs a special spot to store her ponies, which is why we've included an LED light-up case. Use a screwdriver to open the battery compartment and install 3 AA's. Replace the cover and tighten the screws to secure it in place. To install the LED light-up case onto the 4x4, slide it onto the rear mount and press down until it clicks into place. To remove it, just pull the case up and off of the mount. All that's left to do is power up the battery. The input socket is right here. Make sure you only use the charger that came with the vehicle. It's very important to always let the battery charge all the way. Check the LED, and once it's green, your little lady can start exploring. Please refer to the manual for specific operations and appropriate environments, and make sure the rider takes it easy while she's getting a feel for the 4x4. And we're done putting together the My Little Pony 4x4. Remember, if you have any questions or problems during assembly, just give Dynacraft a call. Now your cutie is all set to hit the driveway for a galloping good time. This video is for informational purposes only and does not replace the owner's manual supplied with the product. Please read the owner's manual for complete assembly instructions and important safety information. And remember, be safe.